Hi guys! Okay, start off with, please excuse the background. I'm currently filming in my bedroom. As everybody is aware, in the UK at the moment we are on lockdown, so finding a space that's quiet to try and do a video or two is hard. So I've got my fiance Kieran downstairs playing Xbox with one of his friends online, and the baby's asleep in the other room. So I'm hoping that I can get a video done. So, hello to those of you who don't know me, which will be everybody. My name is Georgie, I am 26 years old and I'm from the United Kingdom. I am a mummy to one little girl called Eloise. She's 4, nearly 5 months old. And I also have a fiance called Kieran. So, a little bit of extra background I suppose. I have a health condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I also developed a blood clot in my brain when I was pregnant. I've battled PTSD and a lot of depression sort of symptoms along with that. And I'm just trying to, I suppose, build my confidence back up and treat this as a bit of a video diary sort of thing. Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about EDS, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This month that we're coming to the end of is EDS awareness, so I thought I would do a quick little something about that. Okay, so there are typically, there are 3 main parts, I suppose you call them, categories of EDS, so types, there you go, types of EDS. Vascular, so that's all to do with the heart and the cardiovascular system. The second one is classical, which I believe is quite similar to hypermobility, which is the one I've got. So vascular, for those people who have vascular EDS, it can be life limiting unfortunately, but it shouldn't affect, as long as management's good, it shouldn't really affect your day-to-day life too severely. Obviously it will do to some degree, but too severely. Classical is a little bit in the middle. It still affects you a bit to a lot, it depends on how severely you've got it. And hypermobility, which is the type, as I say, I've got, is the most debilitating type. Okay, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is, as I say, a connective tissue disorder. It is degenerative, so it'll get worse as I get older, and it is genetic. So I inherited my condition from my mum, and she inherited it from her, I believe it's her mum and dad. My mum also has another condition which she inherited, which sort of sits alongside the EDS. So it's a connective tissue disorder that basically means that you've got a lack of collagen. It causes chronic pain, it can cause dislocations, it can cause you to have extra conditions on top of it, so like POTS, that's a heart condition, or mast cell activation syndrome, which we believe that I may have. I just haven't been officially diagnosed with it, and that is where you have sometimes random reactions and sometimes very specific, very quick reactions, almost like an allergic reaction, but they're often to unusual triggers. So for me, I'm allergic to certain M&S chocolates. Don't know why, just am. I'm allergic to M&Ms. Again, don't know why, I just am. And some other children's like sweetie, treaty type food and drinks. So I try to stay away from E numbers because that seems to be, apart from the M&S chocolates, it seems to be a link between them all. So with new foods and things, I do try to be quite careful, and I will try my best to get a more natural alternative if I can, or an alternative from a brand that I know that I'm okay with. Okay, so otherwise, I have chronic pain. The amount of pain that I'm in differs depending on what time of the month I am. So if I am just before my period or on the first 3 or 4 days of my period, I get a lot of pain. I usually get a lot of pain anyway. It's been a lot better since pregnancy, or since after I'd had the baby. Pregnancy for me was not a nice experience. Before I was pregnant, I would get 1 or 2 weeks in a month where my pain was reduced. Then the pain would start to build up around ovulation, go back down again, and then come back up just before my actual period, before I bled. And then it would go down for the last 2 or 3 days of my period. My periods tend to be a good 7 to 10 days if I'm lucky. I get a lot of pain if I've been on my feet for too long or too much. I get a lot of pain if I twist slightly funny, or if I sort of jam myself a little bit. That can cause me quite intense pain, and it can be there for quite a while. So like for example, the other day, I don't even know what I did. I think I twisted slightly to pick up Eloise and my back went. That was that. I don't know if it was part of my spine that went, or if it was the muscles across the lumbar section, but somewhere around it went, and I had to take very strong painkillers, use Voltarol, ibuprofen gel to try and ease it, and it didn't ease. Bath, showers, whatever I could think of. To be honest with you, the first day that I did it, I couldn't get down to sit in the bath, which usually I would do a hot bath with Epsom salts, the reviving ones or the soothing ones, with Badidas. Badidas I love and I swear by. It's a bubble bath essentially. It's very good for healing wounds, for helping with scarring, stretch marks. I've been recommended it by a few people, nurses, health visitors, midwives, those sorts of people. So anyway, yes, so I get a lot of pain in most of my lower joints and my spine. I've recently been getting quite a lot of pain up in the top of my spine, in the back of my neck. Only when I look up like that, or if I get jarred backwards, it has a lot of pain. My ankles are quite severe. My toes, they'll click. My jaw cracks, and a lot of my joints I can feel grind. So like when I move my arm around like this, I can feel, and you can sometimes hear my shoulder, the bones like grinding together. I mean, I've had x-rays of my hips done and they said they're absolutely fine, but it still slips. So fortunately my ball and socket is like this, which is how it should be. Some people have it so it's slightly open like this, and some people have it so it's really open like this. Fortunately mine is the correct placing, and so what happens with me is it subluxes, so it goes like this rather than like this. But also when it moves around, when it moves around like this, it does cause pain and some unusual noises when the bones rub together. I realise this is a bit of a mixed up video, but I'm trying to sort of get as much information out as I can about how I am and how I deal with it. So this is just going to be probably an unedited version, how my brain works. There you go. So yes, anyway, so that's the pain. I also have problems with my digestive system. So apart from the allergies, the random allergies that I have, oily foods, particularly fatty foods, I struggle to digest properly, and I become very bloated, very gassy. I can become quite constipated or get diarrhea really easily. When I was younger, I would go days and days and days without going to the toilet, and it was quite a big issue for me. Not so much now. I've sort of worked out a diet that I need to eat and stick with, and as soon as I know that there's an issue going on, I take some like Senna for a few days, and that tends to sort me out, as it were. Heart-wise, I'm pretty okay. I do get a few irregular rhythms. I do get a few lightheaded episodes, but as I say, I do have a blood clot in my head, so it could be because of that. Like, I don't know how long that blood clot has been in my head, how long it's been building up for. I don't even know if it's still there, which is actually quite a scary thing to think, that it could still be there. The treatment could not be working fully, you know. But yeah, I get dizzy spells quite regularly, especially when I'm tired. I get a lot, sticking with the head, I get a lot of brain fog. I struggle with remembering the correct words for things. Like, I can explain things, but the actual word itself I really struggle with. I'll often go into a room and completely forget why I'm there, or I'll walk around the house with my deodorant bottle in my hand and don't know why. Or the other day I put my phone down with a timer on it and then started searching myself for my phone, which does make it look a little bit like a mad woman. There's a few things, you know, I can lose track of things quite easily. I can lose concentration. I seem to have a bit of a thing where I mix my words up a little bit, like I mix up the sounds a little bit. I don't know if that's more to do with brain fog, with the EDS, or the fact that I'm dyslexic. You know, I don't know if they go hand in hand. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. But yeah. So that's sort of the main things about me. I suppose the biggest help for me is to have my baths. Especially during winter, I will have a bath pretty much every day if I can. I use Epsom salts, and I use the Adidas like bubble bath. I think it's called a bath glue. I don't know. It's a bubble bath essentially. And I will soak for as long as I can, really. Somewhere between half an hour and an hour and a half, depending on whether Eloise is kicking off, or if I've got something else that's going on, or what have you. Sometimes, quite a lot during winter, when I can, I have 2 baths a day, so I'll have one when I get up in the morning and one in the evening. It'll change from this year because obviously I've got the baby and she comes first, she's my priority. So if it means that I don't have a chance to have a bath, then I don't have a chance to have a bath. I've also got a heated mat. So it's a mat that I put on my bed. You can take it downstairs onto the sofa things, but it's quite heavy. And it's supposed to have positive ions in it. I don't know how much I believe in the positive ions, but I like to think that it helps. Definitely the heated element of the mat helps. It's big, it's essentially just a normal electric blanket, but with the positive ion element. And it's supposed to help recovery of muscle strain and damage quicker. I don't know how much I believe in positive ions, but I do know that the mat has helped me go from being incredibly sore one day. I will go on it for 20 minutes, half an hour before bed, and I will wake up the next morning feeling 100% better, or 10 times better than I would do if I didn't use it. I need to make sure that I keep my feet warm at all times, so even in the hottest days of summer I have slippers. I have slippers all over the house, various types. So I've got like bed socks, I've got the fluffy little like trainer sock sort of things, I've got full on slippers, I've got little like ballet pump slippers, because that's one of the other things that I get quite bad chill blades at my toes, so my toes swell up and it's almost like a mini infection sort of feeling. I try to go swimming, I try to go to the gym or go for walks, whatever I sort of can physically manage or afford at the time. Fortunately where I live there's quite a lot of nice walks that I can do, and it's slightly nicer now that I've got Eloise because it's a bit of company that I can take with me rather than walking around on my own. So that's sort of the main things that I do to help with the pain. The digestive system, as I was sort of saying before, I just try and restrict my diet to things that I know that I can eat and things that I know that are okay with me. I don't eat too much of certain foods, like I don't really drink alcohol, because that makes me feel really, really poorly. Like hangover for me is really intense, and I get drunk quite quickly as well. So if I'm out and people are drinking, I will have a Malibu and Coke, maybe 2, or a glass of Prosecco. I won't drink bottles and bottles anymore. I did when I was younger, don't get me wrong, I've been there, I've done that. Don't need it anymore. Hate the hangovers, hate the feeling of being drunk, can't control my emotions. No thank you, bye bye. Okay, so the brain fog. I have the brain fog and I also have the dyslexia. I use very, very simple techniques to try and help me. I write things down all the time, I make lists galore. Like in the kitchen we've got a whiteboard so I can write down the jobs I need to do for the week and just rub them out or tick them off. We've also got a little notepad stuck to the fridge that's a checklist which I do the shopping list on. I also write out what's in the fridge or freezer that needs eating on there so I can quickly see what I've got. So if my body's hurting and I need to think, right, what do I need for tea? I don't have to bend down and find things, and I also don't have to point blank remember. I tend to be a creature of habit, so I'll put things back in certain places. Everything in our house has a home. Everything goes back in certain places. So my everyday coat goes on the coat peg as soon as you're walking through the door. My trainers go in the bottom shelf in the shoe cupboard. Things like that. My dressing gown, you can see behind me, goes on the hook with Kieran's dressing gown and his hoodies. Things like that make day-to-day life easier. Any extra things I need to remember I will write down. I always have my phone with me. I was going to show you it then, but I'm actually recording on my phone. So yes, I always have my phone on me to make notes, to check maps, because I'm constantly losing myself. I will lose where I am so ridiculously much that, I mean, Find My Friends is a great app, and me and Kieran have it so we can keep an eye on each other. Like if I'm out on a walk by myself, he'll make sure that I'm okay. And yeah, it's been a great invention. what else? That's pretty much it. I mean, there is obviously, I get insomnia from time to time, or I get really, really bad chronic fatigue. I do have chronic fatigue as well, but occasionally I will be so tired and in so much pain that I just can't sleep. That is a horrible time, and I'm not a nice person to live with at that time. I will get hella cranky, but you live and you learn how to get through these things. So it's important for me that I get a little bit of time out, a couple of times a week, just an hour or so, which I tend to have my bath in, and just as a wind down, put some candles on, nice bit of music, have a little cheeky chocolate bar, you know, that sort of thing. So that's me as a general. When I was pregnant, I found when I was pregnant, I found that, sorry, I'm setting off fireworks. When I was pregnant, for the third time, I started off with really, really bad morning sickness, to the point where the doctors they gave me a prescription for some medication, but I decided not to go on it because they recommended that if I could help myself, then that would be better than taking the medication. So they sort of said try and drink and eat little bits will be better for me rather than taking the medication and eating loads of food. So that's what I ended up doing, just sipping and eating digestive biscuits. Yeah, they were my best friend during pregnancy. Lemon custard creams I loved. Second trimester was when I started to get a lot of pain. Like, I would be in tears every single day from the pain, and I tried my best to not go on anything stronger than paracetamol. Usually I'm on quite strong codeine and a few other things that are only prescription medication. But I did really well, and I managed the majority of my pregnancy just on paracetamol. As I got to the end of the third trimester and I started getting the pain from the blood clots, I did end up taking some paracetamol and codeine, so crocodiles. I took a lower dose than I would usually take for my pain, and then I had to up it to a stronger dose because it just wasn't touching it. I mean, it didn't really help that the doctors refused that it could be anything more than just a simple migraine, until it got to the point where they said if I had left it much longer I could have been blind or had a stroke or not be here. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, I mean, that was pregnancy. I mean, we're finding out whether that was a EDS thing or not, whether I have to be on lifelong anticoagulants, blood thinners, or if I just have to be on them for pregnancy and for a short period afterwards. I know there's a chance that Eloise might have to have, or any future girls that we have, might have to go on blood thinners as well when they have pregnancies, depending on what my blood test results are. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to deal with. It's tough to be in pain all the time. As bad as it sounds, I've sort of got used to it, and I know that I'm never really not going to be in pain. I say to people, oh, I'm not in pain today, but the truth is my pain's like a 2 out of 10 rather than a 5, 8, which I can manage with some painkillers. When it gets to a 10, I have to stop, or a 9, I have to stop. At those points, I am usually in tears. When I get to those points, I can be pretty low with my moods, but I've got a really, really good supportive network around me. My family and my fiance's family and our friends are incredible people, and they helped me so much to get through everything. Kieran especially, he's an absolute rock for me. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that if I pass it down to Eloise, that it's to a lesser degree than what I have now. But we will find that out in due course. So I will try and leave a link to the EDS charity, so if you want to read up any more about EDS, then feel free. Please give love to anybody that you know that's got chronic conditions in particular, or just health problems, mental health, physical health, anything. You know, everybody needs love, especially in these times of uncertainty and with coronavirus and everything else that's going on. Yeah, I will try and get another video out in the next week or so. I'll either talk more in depth about pregnancy or about Eloise. She's got allergies, so I could talk a bit more about that. But those two videos will be coming in due course when I manage to find a few minutes to film them. And hopefully I can get a bit more into a proper pattern with them and build my channel a little bit from there. I'll be moving house soon, fingers crossed, so it'd be nice to be able to show you guys a bit of the progress that we make with it. It's going to be to a rented property, so we're not going to be doing like masses and masses of work, but I would like to do some bits. You know, put our stamp on it. Yeah, so I hope you're all staying safe. Lots of love to you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.